What up? What up? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we always start this show by being transparent. And I know I didn't do any shows over the weekend. Usually I'll do a system Saturday, system Sunday, but it's just not, it's a little bit early in the season. I need a little bit more numbers. And also, a lot of the systems are just not active yet. So we will start to do those weekend shows. But the first week of NBA, it went well. I am 16 and 6 and about somewhere around 13 and a half units. So we'll try to keep that going here this week. We do have an MLB game. I know in the playoffs, I started off extremely hot. I think I'm now 26 and 20, but I have pulled down the past few games. So we'll try to get back on track there. And we have an NFL game tonight, Monday Night Football. I'll be honest with you guys. Be like, that's all I'll say. Over in the chat says, "What's the over under for accidental muting today? Over 1.5." I'm gonna do my best to be a little bit better here. And Otto says 2.5. Rick White, I appreciate you tuning in. He says making. All right. Let me know, you guys. YouTube. I would really like to get it there because that's where people can really go back and listen to the show after the day. So hopefully we're back up and going over there on YouTube. Next game up, we have 505, 506. We're looking at the Boston Celtics heading into Washington to take on the Wizards. This game opened Boston minus 10, and we're looking at 10 and a half. Still a couple of tens out there, but 10 and a half for the most part. Total opened 227, and it's as high as 229 and a half, 230. Injury report for Washington, Daniel Gafford is game time decision, and they will be without Landry Shamet. Boston, everybody who's played so far this year will be out there on the court again. And damn, yeah, everybody says we're back. Yeah, thank God, because that was a little bit stressful. It's only me running both YouTube and Spaces, and I'm just trying to make it work. But good to see we're back. So for me in this game, if I have to play, the first thing that comes to my mind is, I mean, I talk about it every single game with Boston. It's going to be a theme for them throughout the year. But the opposing center, 9 times out of 10, I feel like they're not going to be comfortable um, defending Porzingis out there on the perimeter. So my first look is usually like Porzingis over his threes. I know the 1.5 probably got a little bit juice now, but 2.5 still seems like it could be a good look there. And I know Munaf, I'll just pass it to you right now because I know you share some stats about why that could be a good bet too.
Yeah, I think you take a look. You mentioned it, right? Number one, they're uncomfortable. Yeah, I just don't like. Sorry, Skee. Yeah, I like K. Oh, you first mentioned KP's 3-point shots. It's at 2.5 at plus 150. I really do like that. You take a look at the Wizards' defense through the first 2 games of the regular season. They're giving up they're giving up 19.5 makes. I know it's again very early on, but this Boston team, we know they like jacking up the 3-point shot. So I'll start with Porzingis there. I did play it at 2.5 at plus 150. I think that's still out there. I also look at the team totals for the Boston Celtics in this game, just because we saw what the Pacers were able to do in Game 1. They put up 143 against his Wizards defense, and I know Memphis only got to bring 104, but I think they're a little compromised on the offensive side. Now you have a Boston team coming in where you have 4 or 5 different scores on this team that can, put up numbers. You mentioned the rebounding prop. I really do like Jason Tatum in this spot. I think that he can get into double-digit rebounds here. I believe his number was at 9. I do like that for him to go over here tonight, but for me, I'm over on the over team total 119.5 for the Boston Celtics. Kristaps Porzingis over 2.5 3-point shots made as well in this game.
I like that Tatum prop. Especially when I just think about, I mean, he can go in there and grab some offensive rebounds too. Like I said, if Porzingis is stretching the floor and Gafford has to step away, it's not a whole lot of other people, I mean, that I trust on the Wizards team to out rebound Tatum. So I think that's a pretty solid look there. The Boston team total, I think that goes back to last year, right? If you saw anything under 120, pretty much a play. So I can't talk you off any of those looks. I think they're really good looks. And you did say you got to the window with the 2.5 on Porzingis, right?
Yeah, I did. I just like the form that he's in. Again, I know maybe people talked about the revenge narrative of him being back in, DC, going up against his former team. But I think they're utilizing Porzingis in the right way, where, like you mentioned, that he really stretches the floor for the Boston Celtics. So it's a value play, right? At plus 150, I'm going to take that every day of the week with Porzingis, especially in this offense.
All right, good stuff on that. And just really quick, I'm gonna take a second. They're asking me in the YouTube chat if I could give a quick recap. I will do that. We touched the baseball game first, and I was looking at under 9. Just feel like the total is a little bit too high, and it's high because of how the first 2 games were played. And I liked it because it's how Scherzer facing the club that drafted him, and every time he plays them, he has pretty good numbers: 9-0, 2.65 ERA. So I like that. You like how Fat has thrown lately, going under 9.5 for the baseball game, and my guy Munaf like Fat over his strikeout prop. Then we moved on over to NBA, and just don't feel like we can trust the Bulls. It would only be Pacers or pass. Third game in 4 nights for the Bulls, etc. We just don't trust them. And probably a little bit better than that, we like Halliburton over 10.5 assists if we're playing a prop in that game. And the only other game we touched other than that was Charlotte and Brooklyn. And I was a little skeptical to still play the Ben Simmons prop at 16.5. Munaf went ahead and played it, and we both leaned towards Cam Thomas over his points. So if you missed, or for the people on YouTube because the stream went out, that is what we have covered so far. And we'll keep moving down the list now. So next game up, we will go 507, 508, and I need to get the banners. Apologize. All out of source now after the YouTube went crazy. So Blazers, Raptors. This game opened Raptors -7. We now see them 8.5, even 9-point favorite at a couple shops. Total open 217 and it's down to 216.5, even some 216s out there. Injury report for Portland. We know Simon's going to be out, Wainwright out, and Robert Williams going to be out. For this Raptor side, going to be without Koloko, Achua, and Ananobi. So my favorite play in this game is one that you actually brought to my attention, So I'm gonna give you the mic, and then I'll follow up after you. Tell us who would like to grab some rebounds in this game. All right, maybe Munaf is a little bit busy. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we're talking about the Raptors game, right? Yeah, I think it also goes back to a theme of last year's game where we were just looking at opposing centers to go over on their rebounding prop. I'm trying to pull up the stats here on my phone, but it's not working for me here. But I just think the matchup is really bad for the Raptors with DeAndre Ayton. I know Ayton hasn't offensively been involved as far as scoring points, but he's been doing really well grabbing rebounds. He's had at least 9 in all 3 games thus far this season for the Portland Trail Blazers. He's averaging 12 per game. And again, you take a look at some of the centers that the Raptors have faced this season. Vucevic had a successful day. Karl Anthony Towns had a double-digit rebound game. Rudy Gobert as well when they played the Timberwolves in the first game. So I played Ayton over 9.5 rebounds in this game. Maybe think about a ladder here, but at least for the stat right now, or where it's sitting at right now, over 9.5 for DeAndre Ayton in this game for me.
I like it. And you talked about the matchup. I mean, I look on the other side. No Koloko. That's a 7-footer right there. I know they got Jakob Pertl, but I feel like, between Koloko, Achua out, I like it. I mean, I just feel like it's a lot of rebounds to be had. And for majority of the game, especially if Pertl gets in foul trouble, Aiden's going to be the biggest guy out there. So like you said, he averages 12 over his career. He's averaged 10 plus every single season. You're just asking him to get to his average here. And I don't care that it's a back-to-back. Yesterday, they were getting blown out. He only played like 20 minutes, and he still grabbed 9. So I think it's a good bet. I went ahead and rode with you on this one. As far as the side and total are concerned, when the Raptors it's hard for me to lay this kind of points with the Raptors just because I don't view them as a team who can create that separation offensively. Like they could very well cover, but in order to cover this game, it would have to be them like really locking up defensively. That's just how I feel this group is put together. That's what their identity is. So probably more than -8.5. If I like the Raptors, I would take Portland team total under. And I think as far as the full game total is concerned, I do agree with the market move slightly towards the under. Looking in the chat here, he got takes. He says he was thinking T Wolves Raptors money line parlay. I don't want to mess this name up. Net, I'll just say net. He likes the Raptors -8. So, a couple different ways people thinking to play this game. Munaf and I were rolling with Aiton over 9.5 rebounds. And S. Warrior, I appreciate you. I appreciate you too, Wham Bam and Boofer. They're giving a reminder to hit the like button if you guys appreciate the show, because it does help me out quite a bit. Let's keep going here down the list. We have 509, 510. We're looking at Minnesota Timberwolves heading into Atlanta to take on the Hawks. Opened up T Wolves -2.5. Now see two pretty much everywhere. Total open 234.5, and it's down as low as 228.5. Injury report: Wesley Matthews out for the Hawks. For the Timberwolves, Shake Milton is game time decision. Or I'm sorry, yeah, he's game time decision. And Jaden McDaniels also game time decision. The T Wolves are a team that I don't really play very often. Every single year, um, between me not being able to watch a whole lot of their games, and I just never really know what to do with the roster unless I'm looking at player props. Like the coach, he likes for Anthony Edwards to facilitate. So when he starts to get on his case, I kind of like to back him. But other than that, I just don't touch him. And how I view this Hawks team, I expected them to come out firing a lot better than what they did, especially with the continuity of the roster. How I, felt like they were believing and buying into what Quinn Snyder was doing. But I'm now to the point where I feel like they got to prove it to me. They got to prove it to me. So this should be a game. I know they're on a back to back, but I still think this is a winnable game for them. I would lean towards the Hawks, but this is not a game I will have my money on. I'll let you know right now. So Munaf, do you have anything on Hawks versus Timberwolves?
I was leaning towards the Hawks at home here. I think we're sharing the same brain here about the Minnesota Timberwolves. That I think they're still trying to figure out how to make Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns work together on the offensive side of the basketball. And I think I'm still waiting to see that happen before I get behind Minnesota and how to play them for this upcoming season. If we want to talk about player props, I know Trae Young has had a lot of success in his career against the Minnesota Timberwolves. But it was yesterday that Atlanta got the victory over Milwaukee, and I believe Quinn Snyder put Jalen Johnson into that starting lineup and moved Sadiq Bey off of the bench. Sadiq Bey still ended up playing, I think, 30-some-odd minutes yesterday, but James Johnson has been really good, man. If you want to take a look at his steals and blocks to go over 1.5, I think that's still the number out there. He's gone over that projection there all three of the games so far for the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young goes points for that 24.5. I don't hate that either. But I'm with you as far as the side or total. I'll lean with the Hawks, but I won't be playing it. But I did play the Jalen Johnson steals and blocks to go over 1.5 in this game.
Steals and blocks over 1.5. Jalen Johnson, I like it. My guy Wham Bam, what's up with you, bro? We talking about Atlanta and Minnesota. We've already went over the Blazers, Raptors, Celtics, Wizards, Nets, Hornets, and Bulls, Pacers. Anything you like in this game or any of those others?
Yeah, man. You guys was talking about that Aiden. I love that Aiden rebound. Probably got talking into that. I just want to give you guys a double kudos for that. And then I'm on if he plays today because I know he's questionable. I'm on Daniel Gafford double. I think he gets the opportunity here to attack the rebounds. I think they're giving up one of the worst in offensive rebounds as far as Boston so far this season. I think they continue to do that against this team still. Daniel Gafford double again if he plays. It's one of those questionable things, but we just bet him, so it'll be voided if he doesn't play, of course.
And the number you got on that one?
Oh, it's plus 500. Plus 500. You still can get that a lot of places.
All right, Wham Bam. Bringing a nice 5-1 prop to the show. Much appreciated. So I believe that's it for this game. They're showing you some love in the chat on YouTube, Wham Bam. Appreciate you sliding through. Let's keep it moving. Next game up, we have 5-11, 5-12, Detroit. Detroit at OKC. This one opened up Thunder, -5. We now see them as a 6-point favorite. Total open 226.5, and we're looking at 225 right now. As far as the injury report is concerned, for the Thunder, Kenrick Williams, game time decision. Jalen Williams is going to be out. That's the one with the Y. Detroit, Wiseman is game time, but likely to play. They'll continue to be without Bogdanovich, Livers, and Monte Morris. So for me, I know the Thunder have taken a big step forward, but I just I don't view them as a team I want to be laying this kind of number with. Like Detroit, they look a lot better this year too. If they can stay healthy, I think they continue to cover a whole lot of point spreads. Um, I like the coach over there, and I just like the way they've been looking. So the only way with these two teams like this, I could take the Pistons +6. Um, Only way to go. And for player props, they already raised Jalen Duran. Um, the first day, his rebound prop was like 8.5, 9.5. We're now looking at 13.5 for him. So market is adjusting to some of these guys we've been playing. So I'm a little bit slower to get to the window with them. But I still think that's doable. And I would only look towards the Pistons covering this game. You know, you still gonna take this number with Duran, or is it enough to scare you off?
I mean, he's been playing like a monster, man. Like mentioned at the top of the show. But I think in this spot, it's something similar to what we talked about with the Toronto Raptors. How you probably want to play on the rebounds of opposing centers, like we like for DeAndre Ayton. I think it might be a good spot for Jalen Duren on his rebounds as well. Won't be surprised if he does get into 15 plus rebounds here tonight against the Pistons. I'm sorry, against the Thunder. If you also want to take a look at a pivot for Jalen Duren, maybe take a look at his blocks and steals to go over in this game here as well. I know he's been doing really well with that, filling up the stat sheet as well. But yeah, I think I can get there with Jalen Duren on his rebounds. But I did play the steals and blocks to go over as well.
You love that steals and blocks prop. But good stuff by you for sure. Wham bam. What you rolling with? Pistons, Thunder. My bad. I was muted. I didn't know I was muted there. But you love that steals and blocks. You love that steals and blocks prop, but good stuff by you there. Wham bam. You rolling with anything between Pistons and Thunder?
Yeah, I'm on Cade over 6.5 assists. Obviously, we know he came back in the form last game, 10 assists, 6 assists in the game before, with only 24 minutes in that game there. But I expect him to get like a bulk load of 35 plus minutes today. So you should be able to get over the 6.5 assists. I like it all the way to the double at plus 400. But I think it's best to take the plus 10. Assists, you get better numbers than plus 400 on double. I think you get more by taking the 10 assists there. I haven't laddered it up yet, but I am on a 6.5 assists with Cade, and that's it so far in the game.
So they've given you a couple. You can maybe put together a little same game parlay for you guys who like to do that kind of thing. But a few different ways to play this game, and we will keep moving to a game I like a lot more than the rest that we've been talking about so far. So let's go 5-13, 5-14. We'll take a look at Dallas Mavericks heading into Memphis to take on the Grizzlies. This game opened Mavs -2.5, and we really haven't seen any movement. Still sitting at 2.5. Total open 227.5, and we've seen it go up by 1 point to 228.5. Injury report for both of these teams. Scroll here for Dallas. It looks like everybody will be available. Nobody's sitting out today. For Memphis, they will obviously be without Steven Adams because he's gone for the season. We know John Morant is still suspended. Luke Kennard, Brandon Clark, and Santi Aldama all going to be out. So it's not. All I feel is it's not a whole lot to like from this Memphis Grizzlies team. Like, who do you really trust to score the ball besides Desmond Bain? I just when you have a team like this, um, and also just like new pieces, like they weren't even no continuity. They weren't playing this kind of lineup last year. We're going up against a team that I think is really a really good scoring team. Like this Dallas team put a 120 plus their first couple games of the season. We know how capable Kyrie and Luca are. Like, will the Grizzlies be able to keep up That's pretty much how I feel in this one. And this is one of those situations where, I mean, I talked about it last year. You know, the Grizzlies, they like to run their mouth. This is the team that has a target on their back, even if all of the same players are not out there on the court. And they beat up on the Mavericks last year. This is a division game. Memphis took 3 out of 4 last year, so I think that Dallas remembers that, and I think they get a little bit of revenge. It'll be double revenge actually from the last 2 times they beat them. I'll take Dallas on the money line -135. I'm not even going to deal with the 2.5. I'm not mad if you do, but I'll just take Dallas to go ahead and get the win. And kick it to you, Munaf. You agree with me, or it's a trap line? You liking pair props? What you liking?
I think the only concern I would have about Dallas in this game is that at least for their first 2 games that they've gone off to a slow start, right? You saw against San Antonio, they gave up 43 in that first quarter. They were trailing by 4 points in the first half. Same thing with Brooklyn. They were trailing at the half by, I think, 2 points. Brooklyn had the lead, and they didn't have to play from behind, have the Mavericks. So I think for me, the way I wanted to approach this game, I was going to see how Dallas gets off from the tip. That if they are off to a slow start again, like they have in the first 2 games, I want to come back with them on a live number. But you nailed it, man. I mean, we talk about this Memphis team. Obviously, it's a completely different team with some of their key guys. Obviously, no John Morant with the league suspension, but you have Desmond Bain that's averaging 24 points for you right now. After that, I mean, it's a toss-up on who's going to provide that scoring support to Desmond Bain. Marcus Smart and Bo Triple J are defensive players, and then you're relying on guys like Xavier Tillman, Tyler Williams. I mean, even Derrick Rose is getting close to 19 minutes per game for the Memphis Grizzlies. So that kind of tells you where their depth is at right now. So I like your look on Dallas. I just want to see how they do get off to a start here from the tip. But if they are trailing, I'll probably come back on a live number on Dallas. But yeah, Dallas or no bet for me.
All right, good stuff on that. And in the chat, we see our guy Wham Bam sharing one. I know he's gonna talk about it, but it looks like people are agreeing based on what props they like. We only trust one guy to score over there for Memphis. We have Troy Nose saying Bain over 25.5 points. And Wham Bam, you also like a play on Bain. Uh, Tell us why you like it.
Yeah, man, I'm right there with you guys. I think that, you said it, they got field goal attempts. Derrick Rose, 11. Field goal attempts, Jaren Jackson, 11.3. Xavier Tillman, 10.6. Zaire Willis, 10.6. The only other guy that's getting considerable amount of looks is Bain, 19.6 attempts. And he's getting half of those from beyond the arc, about 10 attempts from 3. 3.5, I think he gets 40% tonight, man. That's all I'm saying. I think he gets 40% tonight, something around his average for the league. Not this league, but his season average there from last year. So I think he gets something around there. Over 3.5 is plus 120 is what I got it at. You said it, bro. Who else do we expect to shoot the 3? I think Contrar would be a guy, like you said, because Santi Alderman is out. So Contrar would probably be a guy there. But other than that, man, I'm only going with a bet, and that's the only thing I did bet in this game. But I kind of agree with you there. It's kind of scary to kind of take the Memphis here because of what you're saying. It could be a blowout factor here, but I think he's going to at least get 10 attempts, and that's going to be enough for us to get over there.
All right, so volume type of look there. We're pretty much saying the same thing. Troy saying here, Bain has the green light. He's going to be chucking them up. Only need him to make 40% for him to cash his prop on that 3-pointer, and you'll get some nice plus money to do it. So I feel like we're all lining up on this game. Other plays here in the chat, Lit Picks. He likes Kyrie over 26.5 points and likes the over 227.5. I trust this Dallas side to score. I just don't know how much I trust the Memphis. I'd probably go Dallas team total over and just play Bain to score like everybody else.
I think Skee quickly here. I mean, they played Washington the last game, did Memphis, and they were only put up 106 against that defense. So that kind of tells you. I know they're on a back-to-back as well, where the Memphis Grizzlies. That kind of tells you where this offense is at right now for the Memphis Grizzlies. I'll mention this as well, saying on the steals and blocks theme. Jaren Jackson Jr., he's at 2.5 right now, -120. we saw it last season where the quote unquote the controversy came up of his defensive stats being padded. So just to put it in context here, the first 2 games this season, they had both at home. He had 5 blocks and then 3 blocks. And then their game on the road against Washington, 1 block and 1 steal. So if you want to go back, to Jaren Jackson Jr. over 2.5 steals and blocks combined at home, I think that might be where to look here as well.
Hey, I hear you. I agree. I remember that from last year. They're still showing them that home cooking over there. So back at home, think he'll get a little bit more extra credit and go over his blocks and steals prop. I can't talk you off. Troy says Memphis hasn't went over 110 all year. I think they haven't even gone over 106, 104, something like that. And Dallas, both games have had 120 plus. So take that for what it's worth. A lot of different ways to play this game. And Eric Jones lastly saying 12-1 under spot for the Grizz. So you like some kind of trend that's supporting the under in that game. Next one up, and we might actually see Casey make an appearance again. The only game she cares about, right? She was in the chat earlier. We'll see if she's still here. 5:15, 5:16. We'll know right away as soon as this game comes up. Golden State versus New Orleans Pelicans. Open Pelicans -2.5. We now see -4, even a 4.5 popping up. Total open 233, and it's down as low as 224 at Bet Online. Injury report here, and let me also hit the refresh button just so we can stay up to date here for Golden State. It looks like everybody is available to play. For this Pelicans team, Alvarado out, Murphy out, Marshall out. So I just want to make sure I'm not. So Warriors played yesterday, but I just don't feel like it's too much of a taxing game to play versus the Rockets. The only person who played over 30 minutes was Steph Curry, I believe. So I think they're still, I'm not putting too much into them being on the back to back. But at the same time, I do have to put it into consideration. Like, I think that's the only reason the Pelicans are favored here. And it makes me want to think that Golden State can hang around just because I don't think they're too tired. I think they'll be just fine. If you give them a couple of possessions in their pocket, it's hard for me to think they get blown out. Now, this Pelicans team, they've had a good start to the season. It reminds me how they started last year, as long as they were healthy, right? They were number 1 in the West all the way until they started to get injured. I know they're missing a couple guys, but the main guys are out there. I'm talking about Zion, Brandon Ingram. When those guys go down, that's when it got bad for the Pelicans. So I do think it's a really good team. I think they're more than capable of winning at home. It's just, do I want to trust them to win by any type of margin? You guys, if you've been around for a while, you know how I view Golden State. You saw versus the Kings. The Kings are supposed to be this up and coming good offense, etc. Warriors handled them like that. They're still capable of doing that in this game. So I wouldn't feel comfortable betting the Pelicans. I do agree with the move going down on the total because Pelicans are playing really good defense, and I think that the Warriors are capable too. So if I have to play here, I still agree with the under, and I'm too nervous to lay with the Pelicans. I'd actually probably lean Golden State plus 4.5. Don't have any prop looks. If you're looking at any props here or you're looking at a side, what do you think?
I feel like the books are begging you to take the Warriors plus the points here. Right, it could be the right side, but I stay away from it. I thought it's a little fishy for me, especially 4.5 for the Pelicans. I know it's down to 4 right now. The only thing I'm going to keep my eye on, and I'm not sure if we have this information or not, if Draymond Green is playing this game or not, because it is a back-to-back season debut yesterday against the Rockets after dealing with the ankle injury. But if he doesn't play, I'll be going back to CP3 assist. He had 7 even coming off the bench yesterday for the Golden State Warriors. If Draymond doesn't play, I expect CP3 to be in that starting lineup to wrap up the assist again. So I think that was the only look I really did have for this game.
Yeah, as of right now, it could change, but nobody's on the injury report. But I definitely understand that. Look, Wham Bam, how you viewing Pelicans versus Warriors?
Yeah, I'm waiting for the injury stuff too because it just doesn't make sense. But I agree with you, Ski. I only want to go with the under 6 for straight times. He's got matched up 6 of the last 7 meetings and 11 of the last 13 meetings here. It just seems like it's the under series here. We know what type of defense we're gonna get from Herb Jones and them boys, and you get more GP2. That sounds like an under to me. So you know what I'm saying. I like the under in this game, like you were saying.
All right, fair enough. Eric Jones in the chat says, love the under at 233. Not as much at this number. At 233, it was 11 and 1 under spot. But, we're all pretty much agreeing as far as how we view this game. Dom says, live bet the Pels if they go down big at any time. Or he's asking. Um, well, the longer the game goes on, with Golden State being on a back-to-back, even though they didn't go all out, still favors the Pelicans. So if you like the Pelicans pregame, then yes, you would want to do this. Um, if you didn't like them, I wouldn't just play it just because. But I can understand that play. That's what I'll say. And we haven't got to that game yet, Don Play. He has a question about that game. We'll get there very shortly. So, next game up on the slate, we will go. And we have what, 3 more games in the association? We'll go 5-17, 5-18. We're looking at the Miami Heat heading into Milwaukee to take on the Bucks. Game open Bucks -5. We're now looking at 6.5s out there. Total open 230, 223, and we're looking at 225. Injury report for Milwaukee, Buchamp out. For Miami, looks like Kevin Love is game time, but he's likely to play. Bam is game time, a true toss up. And then we have Josh Richardson, also questionable. Highsmith and Caleb Martin look like they will both be out here. Um, for me, I know that the Bucks played yesterday, but I feel like that was a game they didn't really care too much about. At the same time, I've talked about, and Lillard kind of talked about, said something about this too, but I expect to take a little bit of time for Giannis and Dame to really like get in that full rhythm where they're clicking completely. Like it's not going to happen right out the gate, but still, I know that they remember. It's enough guys on this team. They remember how their season ended last year. Um, and they're gonna want to come and give it to them because of that. So I like that. Dame probably even wants to give it to Miami because of the trade stuff that happened. But I like Milwaukee in this one, but I don't like them for the full game because they played yesterday. Like I always say, the more the game goes on, it's going to favor the team who did not have a game yesterday. So I want to get in and get out. I think they bring it from the tip. I took the first quarter -1.5, and I think that's the best way for me to play it. Munaf, you think Milwaukee gets a little bit of revenge here? Would you go early? Would you go often? How you feel?
Yeah, it could be a trifecta spot here for the Milwaukee Bucks. I think 100% they were looking ahead to this game after what transpired yesterday with the Atlanta Hawks. I think I would be more concerned, Ski, with the full game if the Bucks starters played a lot of minutes yesterday. But Malik Beasley was the one that played the most minutes, 32 minutes last night. Giannis only played 29. Dame only played 29. Brook Lopez only played 20. Bobby Portis played 21. So, again, like you mentioned, there's enough guys on this roster to remember what transpired last year in the playoffs with this Miami Heat team. And also, you look at Miami in particular. Jimmy Butler's not playing well. Maybe he's still dealing with some type of injury or whatever the case might be. But you just take a look at his numbers. It's not really good right now. I'm trying to tell these game log right now. So the first game against the Pistons, 6 of 18, 19 points, and then against Boston on Friday, he was only 3 of 11 for 14 points. And just to put in the context, Ski, that Boston was around a 7.5, 8.5 point favorite when they hosted the Miami Heat, and now the Bucks are 6.5. Maybe it's a point taken off, or maybe half a point because they are on a back-to-back here. But For me, I really like the Bucks here tonight. I think they take care of business, possibly by double digits. I also look at Milwaukee's team total to go over in this game as well. So those are the two looks that I did have. Milwaukee, if you want to play a trifecta, first quarter, first half, and full game, and then also Milwaukee team total to go over as well.
All right, so we on the same page there. You liking a little bit more than I'm liking, but looking the same way. A couple comments here really quick. S. Warrior says Tyler Hero over his points, going against a team that broke his hand, dropped defense, which he thrived in, also his hometown. And Troy knows is agreeing. He says definitely Hero over 22 and a half. Bucks perimeter is shaky. So guys looking towards Tyler Hero. Um, we're looking a little bit towards the Milwaukee side. Wham bam. How you viewing Heat versus Bucks?
Yeah, this is a tricky game, man. I don't have nothing on this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jimmy Butler gets more than 9 field goal free throws in this game. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna say that. This is one of those games. It looks a little lopsided. It looks like they should get smacked up, but somehow, some way, he actually shows up here, gets over 20 points. So I don't know. I'm gonna stay away from this game though.
All right, fair enough. Arthur Mee Jr. likes the Bucks minus the points. Net likes the Bucks on the money line. And Don Play talked about this a little bit. He says, "Do y'all see the Bucks starting fast and strong?" I do. I take them on the first quarter. Um, let's see. Boofer says Milwaukee tried to cruise control last night versus Atlanta and couldn't play catch up in the second half. They should be good first half. We're all pretty much in agreement. Dave G, he says, "Good afternoon. My best bet is Bucks first." I think he's saying it's either first quarter, first half. He didn't finish. And he likes the Pelicans and the Pacers. Those are his best bets here today. One more comment. EQ says, I don't know if it was just a hiccup with the Bucks or what, but I got to see it play out first. So we shall see. Majority of us are liking Bucks early and often. A couple people liking the hero prop, and we'll keep going down the list here. We have a game people were asking about in the chat that is going to be 519, 520. Utah Jazz heading into Denver to take on the Nuggets. Opened up Nuggets minus 7.5. Now 8.5. Actually, mostly eights, but there is an 8.5 out there. Make sure you line shop if you like, or for whatever side you like. Total open 230.5 and is down 3 points to 227.5. Injury report for Utah, it looks like they're good to go. And then for Denver, I mean, it's still early because they did play yesterday, right? But just Huff, Kankar on the injury report. Huff is game time decision. So I'm just glancing at something to jog my memory. Utah did not play yesterday, right? No, they did not. So I mean, Denver looked really strong. We know how good they are, the champions, et cetera, et cetera. But, and again, that was a game that was a blowout. So how much do we put into them playing yesterday? But I just still don't want to expect them to win by this much of a margin um, on the second night of a back to back. I just don't think that's the best way to play. If I did like Denver so far this year and in previous years, they've been really strong in the first quarter, first half. Maybe you just play them that way, get in and get out before they either get tired or just don't care anymore. This Utah team, I think they're going to be really good ATS all year long. Like I've been saying so far, they have a lot of guys who have to prove themselves. And in the 8.5 point spread range, I think that they could keep it, competitive, respectable. So I lean towards Utah plus 8.5. I'll leave the total alone. But it's just one of those games. If you like Utah, you play them full game. If you like the Nuggets, you get in and you get out. Would you agree with me here on this one,
Yes, yeah, I would look at Nuggets first half. Yeah, being on back-to-back travel situation, they took care of business in OKC last night. Celtics didn't really play a lot of defense as well, right? Because they were up by, I think, 20 plus headed into that fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken. But most guys, Jokic, Murray, and KCP all played 30 minutes. Nobody played more than 30 minutes last night. So Yeah, Denver looks really good. They still look like the best team in the league right now. I don't want to get in front of that train. I lead with Denver full game, but I really like the move the first half for Denver. Player prop wise, Michael Porter Jr. over on his rebounds for me. It was at 7.5 right now. He's had 12, 13, and 9 in the 3 games that he's played for the Denver Nuggets. And he's not playing a lot of heavy minutes either. He's averaging 28 per game, but he's still grabbing the rebounds for the Denver Nuggets. So that's a one player prop I did play this game that Nuggets early to me as well.
This has been one you've been like riding, right? You played this the past couple, or at least last game.
Say that again. We break it up a little bit.
Is this a prop? This is a prop that you've been like riding every game, right?
Yeah, this one, Michael Porter Jr. and then also Ben Simmons. I know we talked about that. So those are the 2 ones I've been on.
All right, it makes sense. I remember hearing that prop, and I'm seeing them going out there and doing it. So I think that's a solid play. Wham bam. You looking towards side? Looking towards player props? How do you view Jazz versus Nuggets?
Yeah, I'm not going to beat a dead horse, man. You guys talked about it, man. Taking the Nuggets early. I mean, it's 3-0 so far in the season. The first half, I think that's kind of the only way I would go here. Is taking the Nuggets and also taking my boy. He's been killing with the props. Props been good, man. Especially like telling some of the guys here. So I would be following what my boy saying.
And Troy says been running Michael Porter Jr. rebounds since last year playoffs. It's gold. Also giving out some other props. Or he says MPJ over 7.5. That's 10 plus every game. And he says Jokic over 12.5 rebounds. Kessler won't pull him out the paint. So you must maybe like an under game. Think it's a lot of rebounds to be available. We'll see how this one shakes out. Boofer coming with the first quarter. He says I'm eyeballing. He put Phoenix in Denver. I'm assuming you mean Utah and Denver. He says he's eyeballing the first quarter over 55. And EQ likes the spicy Nuggets tonight. All right, last game on the slate. We are going to go 521, 522. Looking at the Orlando Magic heading into LA to take on the Lakers. Open Lakers minus 3.5. Pretty much 2 everywhere. There is 1.5 that I'm looking at my odds screen. Total open 221. And we see 218.5 as a consensus number. So people liking this one to be a lower scoring contest for Orlando. I don't see anybody on the injury report for the Lakers. Vanderbilt still going to be out. Can't wait for him to get back into the lineup. This one, I mean, we all saw the Lakers go into overtime last night. It is very hard for me to trust them, especially when their 2 best players are, older players. And after an overtime game on a back-to-back, they have that resting policy, whatever, but it doesn't count for LeBron. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he sat tonight or whatever the case is. I know they're already trying to watch his minutes, et cetera, et cetera. It's hard for me to trust this Lakers team to be out there right now tonight, and just in the situation that they're in. That doesn't mean that I have a whole lot of confidence to back the Magic. I know they're 2-0 so far this year. Between the Magic and Timberwolves, those are just the 2 teams that I usually don't do a whole lot of betting on in general every year. So I didn't feel comfortable to go in there and back them against the Lakers tonight. I still think with the Lakers being under 500 to start the year, if we did see LeBron and AD both out there, they're still very capable of winning. So I just didn't feel as comfortable. If I have to play right now, I think I would agree with the way that the totals moved down from 221 to 218.5, just with the possibility that one of those offensive options are going to sit. And I know that the Lakers, or I feel like the Lakers are capable of playing defense in this game, and just lean under, lean Magic right now. Not going to play either one. As far as player props are concerned, if you were to tell me that LeBron James is going to go out there and play a game just like it's any other game, I'll be betting his rebounds plus assists over again. But I already talked about how I'm unsure what we're going to get from him tonight. Austin Reeves has been pretty pathetic as far as his shooting, his offense. after coming off the FIBA World Cup he played in. Um, if LeBron didn't play, I have to think he has to get it back on track and have some kind of big effort for the Lakers to not get blown out here. So that's what I'm thinking. Didn't really get to the window with anything here. Just kind of talking out my opinions, my thoughts. Munaf, did you have anything on Magic versus Lakers?
Had 12 rebounds for the Kings. Sorry, 15 rebounds. Jokic had 13, and then Yusuf Nurkic, I think that first half had 3 rebounds. So only up to one more rebound, but he got over his prediction as well. So that would be the couple looks I'll look at in this game.
I did it on YouTube now. I accidentally muted the YouTube. So go ahead and cash Booper the over 1.5 times that I mute on the show. And you kept calling me an amateur. Hey man, this show today was a struggle. If you saw how it started off, YouTube completely shut down and just kind of threw me off completely. But I will try to get better at not hitting that mute button. Um, Wham Bam. I know you like a little something. Usually have something cooked up for a Lakers game. How you feeling about Lake Show versus Magic? You there, Wham? All right, Wham Bam. Maybe you got a phone call or something, or whatever the case may be. But I see him in the chat. He did post in the chat. Let me scroll back. He likes Lakers under 218.5. That's what he's saying here for tonight. Let's look at a couple other comments. Gilbert giving MLB play. Corbin Carroll plus 1.5 bases. Appreciate the love in the chat. Arthur Me Jr. says, I don't know. Actually, I'm not even going to say that one out there, but I don't know. I don't keep track or keep up. I have no clue. That's the end of the show. So we've gone through. Well, we still have NFL for tonight. We went through MLB playoffs. We went through NBA. I told you guys I'm not going to be super strong on NFL, but you liking this NFL game? And Boofer says my Spaces audio is getting choppy. You there? All right. Well, I personally am not playing the NFL game. I just want to focus more on basketball right now because that's where I'm making my money. NFL, I do good the first few weeks and I do good in the playoffs. That's what's been consistent. I got to figure out how to do well in the middle part. I do well on totals, but the sides kind of beat me up. If I had to play this game, though, just it's raps. I think the spaces is broke. If I had to play this game, um, I really think that the Raiders defense is not good, and I think Detroit can kind of name their number. I know they got some guys on the injury report, but again, I didn't look too much into this one. I'd only play the over. I agree with the market move. I am going to be off of it. So with everything breaking down, we had YouTube breaking down, and they say Spaces is broken down. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to get out of here. I'll look at a couple comments before I do. Arthur Me Jr. says a lot of the public is on the Raiders. Um, Chris says public is heavy on the Pelicans now. Boom, boom, boom. Arthur says he thinks the football game is an under. EQ says Raiders might be live dogs, but can't trust Jimmy G here. Maybe that's good, but I don't see it. Boofer not interested in Monday Night Football. And Estos says teaser option for the Lions. That's about it. I agree. If you want to put the Lions with somebody for next week, I think that's the way to go. So we'll go ahead and get to best bets for the show. And I'm pretty confident this is still active. If you want to roll in my NBA, I believe this promo ends tomorrow. You can use promo code EBNBA, Early Bird NBA, and it takes $200 off my NBA season package at wagertalk.com. You'll get every bet as soon as I place it, and you won't have to worry about any of those lines moving. For my best bet for the show today, I can't give you the one I have up and available at Wager Talk, although I did share it with my members because I share it with my members from time to time. I'm going to go with another one that I like, and I'll give credit to Munaf for bringing it to my attention. It's going to be DeAndre Ayton over 9.5 rebounds. I just think it's a really good matchup for him, especially if Pirtle somehow gets into foul trouble. He's going to be the biggest guy out there all night long. And he averages more than what they're asking him to get on this season in his career. Like, I just think the number is way too low. And I think it's that low because he played in a game yesterday where he only played 20 minutes. So I think he's good to go. We've been really good. We've been really good as far as we haven't lost a player prop best bet since we started doing the show again. So we'll try to keep that going here, and I'll knock on some wood while we do that. A couple comments before we do get out of here. Skee with the AOL dial-up. Hey, internet is terrible out here, man. It's a monopoly, but I'm doing my best to work with it. Wham! Remind everybody to hit the like button. Yes, if you do like the show, if I'm helping you guys out, help me out and hit the like button. That does a great deal for me. It's much appreciated. And that's it. Appreciate you guys for tapping in with me. I know it's been rocky here on this Monday, but best of luck if you tell. Good luck on all of your action. Hopefully tomorrow is a lot smoother, and I will see you guys then.